Greetings all! Let's take the scary out of downloading and installing XAMPP. First thing we're going to do is make sure that we download the correct version. I'm working on a Windows 10 PC, so I'm going to be going to https://www.apachefriends.org. We always want to make sure we go to a reputable source. Ideally, the source that is directly responsible for whatever software we're downloading. In this case, Apache Friends. Nowhere else should we download it. I'm going to click on XAMPP Installers and Download. Now I'm going to go to, because I know that instructors have designated particular versions, I'm going to show where those options are just as an example in case you also need to download a different version. I'm going to click here for other versions. That's in the green arrow on the left. Now the first thing I see at the top of the page is download for Windows, and I'm going to download PHP 7.2 and this 7.2.22 version. Instructors may suggest one of these other versions, or this version may change in the future. You know now how to go find the version that you need and select it. So I'm going to click on Download 64-bit, the button to the right of the identifying numbers of this version, and I'm going to choose to download this to my desktop so that it's easiest for me to find. When this window opens, I'm going to click the Save button when I've directed it to the location I want. If I forget to do that, it's generally going to download in your Downloads folder. I'm just making it a little bit easier by downloading it onto my desktop. And the download process may take a moment or two. Okay, the download is complete. I'm going to close out of it. On my desktop, I see the XAMPP install box icon, and I'm going to double left click. Now, we want to go carefully through this process because there are a couple of selections that we need to make during the process and a couple of screens that are going to open. Although this screen is somewhat intimidating, important because an activated user account control on your system, some functions of XAMPP are possibly restricted. Now, I can say with all the hundreds of installs I've done, it has yet to be a problem. So I'm going to click OK. Welcome to the XAMPP Setup Wizard. I'm going to click the Next button. And then on the Select Components, I suggest unchecking FileZilla FTP Server. This is not the version of FileZilla that you're going to be using. You're going to be using the client. We're going to uncheck that. I'm going to uncheck the Mercury Mail Server. We have no use for that. And I'm going to uncheck Tomcat. I'm going to leave the rest checked. I'm going to click the Next button. I found that I see the least amount of problems when XAMPP is installed to the default location. Oftentimes when I see students, they've been having problems. So I try to eliminate all the possibilities that can cause issues. So I allow XAMPP to install at the root of my C drive. Checking that path, I'm going to click the Next button. Now just a little side note there, some students will install on their flash drive, and I have another video about that. Alright, back to this. The installation folder at the root of the C drive. I'm going to click Next. Now here, learn more about Bitnami for XAMPP. That's just going to open a browser window that I don't need, so I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to click Next again. And the setup is now ready to begin installing XAMPP on my computer. I'm going to click Next again, and then I'm going to be patient. The install process does take a bit. We'll pause for just a moment and come back when it's done. During the install process, you might have a pop-up that looks something like this. Windows Defender Firewall has blocked some features of this. You always want to just click Allow Access. It will generally select the option that it needs. So we're going to click Allow Access. In this particular instance, we're going to uncheck, do you want to start the control panel now? And now I'm going to click Finish. Now, if you remember, we installed XAMPP at the root of the C drive. So let's go to the bottom left corner to File Explorer. I'm going to go to my Windows C drive in the left vertical menu. And I can see it's alphabetical, and you'll find your XAMPP folder at the very bottom, of course, because it begins with an X. And I'm going to double click on the XAMPP folder to open it. Okay, now the first thing I want to do is test and see if it works. First of all, I have to turn it on. So I'm going to come down in this menu to XAMPP control.exe. Now, if you don't see your file extension, here's how to fix that. You're going to go to View, and you're going to come to the right and Show Hide at the top of your window, and you're going to check File Name Extensions so that you can see the extension of these different types of files. You've got an icon there, but it's very helpful to be able to see the file extensions. Okay, so I'm going to come to XAMPP control.exe, and I'm going to double click on the icon. All right, the first thing that pops up, tell me what language. I see the American flag, so I'm going to click the Save button, and I can see my control panel screen opens. So I'm going to X out of File Manager, and now, drum roll, I'm going to attempt to start Apache and MySQL. I always start Apache first. I'm going to click the Start button to the right of the word Apache. And yay, quickly it first turned yellow and then green. Next, I'm going to click MySQL. Yay. Now you'll see I have another pop-up that says Windows Defender Firewall has blocked some features. It has selected what it needs. Domain networks such as a workplace network. It knows what it needs here. I'm recording this in my office. It knows what it needs. Allow access. That way it's opening the firewall just specifically for this. It's not just wide open, but it's making an exception so that XAMPP is able to work without stepping on the firewall and vice versa. So I have green Apache module. I have green MySQL module. So the next thing to do is test and see if this is working. I'm going to open Chrome, and now to access this in my address bar, I'm going to type localhost, all lowercase, no spaces, localhost. And at this point right now, I'm using the default settings. So that means the default ports. And now I'm going to click Enter. Okay, I know this is working because it's opened my Apache Friends interface. And that tells me, yep, you've made the connection. Apache and MySQL are both running as they should in XAMPP. That's the end of this video. In the next video, we'll talk about changing ports. And we'll also talk about installing coursework folders in the proper place. I hope you've followed along and had everything go successfully. We'll also have another video about how to troubleshoot issues, but hopefully you won't have any. Now, one thing we always have to remember to do, XAMPP does not automatically close the ports as some other software does. You have to remember, I'm going to lower the screen, you have to remember to come back into the control panel, click the stop button for Apache, and then click the stop button for MySQL. Once they're both turned off, we can close out of our XAMPP control panel. I hope you've gotten something out of this video and that your XAMPP is up and running. We'll see you later in the next video about changing ports and putting your coursework folder in the right place. Have a great day.